I'm a 38-year-old wife and mother of 2 kids, Rachel, who's 15, and Tim, who's 13. My husband, who's 41, has always been a hands-off, lazy partner when it comes to running the household. For years, I've begged him to step up and take responsibility, but it's always been the same. He only does the bare minimum when forced. What's worse is that my son has started following in his footsteps. Tim skips his chores, leaves messes everywhere, and expects Rachel to pick up the slack. And my husband enables this behavior, constantly overruling me when I try to discipline Tim. Yesterday, things reached a breaking point. Rachel and I went out shopping, and we bumped into a friend of mine from work, along with her boyfriend. I invited them over for coffee, so I called my husband and asked him and Tim to clean up the house before I got back. They had nearly 2 hours to tidy up, but when we got home, the house was an absolute mess. They hadn't done a single thing. I felt humiliated when my guests walked in. My friend tried to laugh it off, but I could see the judgment in the way she and her boyfriend looked at each other. I had to quickly clean up the living room before we could even sit down. After they left, I snapped. I told my husband and son that I'd had enough. I told them to pack their things and leave the house immediately. I told them not to come back until they learned to respect me and contribute to the household. My husband argued with me, but I stood firm. Eventually, they left and checked into a motel nearby. Since then, my son has been calling me, begging to come home. I told him this was his wake-up call. I explained that I'm not letting either of them come home for Christmas or New Year's. Tim can return after the holidays if he proves he's willing to do better. My husband, on the other hand, is a different story. My mom and sister think I went too far, especially with Tim, but I don't agree. My son is at an impressionable age, and if I don't take a stand now, he's going to grow up thinking it's okay to treat women like this, just like his father. I refuse to let that happen. This wasn't an easy decision, especially with the holidays around the corner. But I need them to understand that respect and responsibility are non-negotiable. I love my son, and I'm willing to give him another chance if he's serious about changing. As for my husband, he's going to need to prove to me that he's willing to change, or he might not come back at all. Sometimes, enough is enough.